and Colin Herzig, running off the 12 competitors.
Okay, so they are going to run a gate start.
Oh, it's a gate start.
It's a gate start, so the whole point of qualifying this far completely nullified, as it becomes a absolute lottery. So, 45-minute final between, well, I suppose what? Probably if you're doing 7.5 minutes, you're going to stop 6 times, aren't you? 7.5, 15, 22, 5 times. So 6 sessions. You can do it up to 9 minutes, you can take one out. So it's going to be an interesting look about what the pit stop strategies are. Someone didn't realise that 6 was in the front row.
Remember, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, or is it on Facebook as well?
It is now.
Yep. Please share. Share and like what we're doing.
If you don't like what we're doing, just don't mention it. That's always the best way, I feel. Okay, the RC2 final. And they're off for the RC2. Oh, it's an absolute carnage at the start, but it's Camden Lyon with his very distinctive blue and pink car that's got away in the lead, so he leads it through. Second place is the yellow and burgundy car off. He says looking for the number. He takes a TLR car 3 of Anthony Westergaard. The man who designed the track is running second on his own track now. And we'll wait to see what the timing says is third. It's Jermaine Robinson, the young man who won the junior final, didn't Jermaine Robinson?
Yes, that last night.
So, some of these drivers have had so much track time. They have literally just spent the whole time on the track these last 3 days.
Yeah, I was talking to some people yesterday, and they literally said they were burnt out from racing.
Because they're used to going to big races in America where you race once every 7 hours. And Lyon's made a big mistake and dropped down to about 7th. So, it's Westergaard leading. When we go over the line for the second time, you're going to see that Camden Lime is down in about 9th. Brown, Herzig, Dexter, Robinson, Turner, Degani in 7th, Watson, Limier, exactly 9th. That was quite a good prediction, wasn't it?
Lime has dropped way back.
Yep, 2 accidents on this lap. So the gathering gloom, or the glorious evening sun, depending how you see it, has left Anthony Westergaard with the early lead in the RC2 final, brought to you by Proline here at the Thunder Alley Raceway in Southern California, near Beaumont, which is a small town, to put it mildly.
Anthony Westergaard's going the uphill and down the downhill. He's getting looks like he has somewhat of a lead so far. But there is a lot of time to go. This is a 45-minute final, so a lot can happen.
And probably will.
Yes. It's a matter of attrition.
Well, I think it shouldn't be. It should be a matter of just keeping your head down. I'm not sure how easy it is to run 45 minutes clear. Westergaard's made a good start from 3rd.
Looks like we had some people hitting the pole of doom.
It's looking more bended, that's for sure. So they've got one more race off this of activities to work through, and they can go and have a lie down for a few days.
Yeah, I think they should retire it and hang it on the wall.
But Westergaard's lead now, 3.2 seconds. The second place is Tyler Brown. And then you got kind of more of a scuffle behind. Drop back 1 car, Zach, to Tyler Brown. As he goes through the pole of doom and then turns right onto the scuffly, difficult, apparently quite popular quad. Our car rolls out of contention, but this is our second place man. Westergaard carries on laying down the lead, and his lead now is 3.8 seconds. Gap to next. Yeah. So those are the gaps between the various drivers. So you can do the maths of the overall distances. Still quite close. Degani's now in last, by the way, with his second place man, Tyler Brown. Now, drop back 1 more. And that is going to be... Oh, you went 2 there. One sneaked through. Naughty, naughty Kyle Turner sneaked through. We weren't looking. Now, Lime's got himself way back to 4th again now, so he's after that disastrous start, he's showing a little bit of pace. This is 3rd place man, Kyle Turner. Comes over the hot... Oh, no, and now... Okay, Lime, pick up Lime, the blue and the pink, on a recovery journey from leading and then down to 9th. Now he's already back up to 3rd, so nothing wrong with the car. And just put his head down and see if he can catch up. Now, Nancy Westergaard's got himself a very pleasant, almost 5-second lead, because Turner's made a mistake as well, and he's dropping like a stone. So it's Westergaard from Brown from Lime. Lime is 2 seconds behind Brown, but I think that's already reduced in this lap, and it's reduced even more, and Lime goes through to 2nd. So it's a pretty crushing progress back through the field again for Lime. Was 9th, now 2nd.
That's a man on a mission right there, and Aaron Dexter and Cody Watson have both moved into the top 5. Camden Line is putting his head down and tracking down Anthony Westergaard.
Well, Westergaard's not hanging about. Lime, in fact, in that last lap actually lost 7/10 of a second to him, so he's now 8.4 seconds behind Westergaard. So whilst he's managed to dispatch everybody else, Anthony remains a bit more of an enigma. He has got the fastest lap so far, Camden Lime, of 34.557, which is almost half a second faster than Anthony Westergaard's fastest lap, but you've got to put him down consistently, and this track is a little bit tricky on that front.
Lots of racing go. We're 5 minutes now. We've got 40 minutes left. So
many stops, and that time round he gained 0.2 of a second on Westergaard. So it's going to be a long roll through. Cole Jensen made a mistake in that last one. The arms are starting to swing in the pit lane as people think about fueling.
sounds like Mao is scolding somebody.
No, that could never happen. What are you talking about? Such a paragon of easygoing virtue. So sailing over the gate jump and down the main straight. And Lime has trimmed off another half second, so he's catching up. It's just going to take him about 22 laps to do it.
Yep.
He has got 22 laps to do it. There's more than that left, but he assumes he isn't going to make a mistake. He's built up a gap of 3.5 over Aaron Dexter, so the Australian starting right at the back after being one of the 2 bump ups, actually after winning the last chance qualifier, but he's now up and running.
That was an exciting race, the LCQ.
It was
last
great.
lap.
Great. It's been, unfortunately, poor old Philong Nguyen just didn't quite have the luck stroke maturity, what you had to do in a last chance qualifier, which is just get first and second, not worry about racing anybody. Just get over the line and then get into the actual race. This event here, the 45-minute main final. Another half a second gained by Lime on Westergaard there. And now we're getting into the area of first pit stops. If you're doing a 7-minute or 8-minute run. The question is whether they're going to be 9, which would be the ideal. If you can do 9, 9's ideal. Because you do 9, 18, 27, 36, and you're in on 4 stops.
You know what? You're really good at math.
Just done a lot of these races. It's the 100-lap final for RCGP. It doesn't divide as well. And also some of these guys are running maximum punch. I mean, one person that seems to have the most problem getting a lot of mileage is Ongaro, but he makes it work for himself. We won the previous 3 long races, but let's get back to RC2. Keenan?
We have some people in the chat talking about Anthony Westergaard. He's out front. They say he has an unfair advantage because he built the track.
Not sure how that works.
Yeah.
And into for fuel comes Camden Line. So he is doing the 7.5-minute stops. Fueled in. Nothing like... I'll tell you what, now this is interesting. I'm sure it was Camden who had Adam Drake doing him in the semis. And it was way quicker than those 2 blokes.
Yeah, by himself.
I just kind of feel that perhaps you've gone down from the best pitman in the world to 2 really nice blokes you happen to know at the event. I assume Adam had to spread himself out to somebody else.
So it looks like Richard Saxon's on the move. He's up to 6th. Aaron Dexter still in 5th. Colin Herzik in 4th. And Camden Line in 2nd. And Anthony Westergaard still your leader.
So Westergaard and Lime had long laps last time, which would indicate they both stopped for fuel. I didn't see Westergaard stop for fuel, but I think he might have gone through by the time we got to Lime. So Lime's got it down to 6.5, so he's taken about 2.5 seconds out of Westergaard over the last 4 minutes or so. We're down 8:41 down, so there's 37 to go or so. Through the pro line, War Death up the sketchy straight, uphill towards the Thunder Alley hairpin. They drop down the steps for braking and turning, the hardest part I think of the track in some ways, up to the media tent over the ridge, which is the whole shot.
Gary.
No, the whole thing is the ridge.
Ridge.
Individual jump called Gary, but only really when you're here. Avoiding the pole of doom. The infinity jump, and now over the difficult, awkward, annoying quad for the massive gate jump, and back to the Wall of Death, and that's a lap for Camden Lime, where he put the fastest lap of the race, 34.1, and he gained 1.6 seconds on Anthony Westergaard, who he's just hit somebody there. That wasn't Westergaard, was it?
That looked like Colin Hertzig.
It could well be. Let me lap down already, be quite impressive. Let's just see where. Just wondering whether that might have been a change of position. I think I'm not quite sure. Where is Westergaard? No, Westergaard's still running, but he's not very far ahead. So Westergaard did a 37.9, Lime did a 35.1. So he's hunted him down in not many laps at all. In fact, the next car that Camden Lime is going to come up against, this is the guy who was 9th after 2 laps, is going to be our leader, Anthony Westergaard, over Gary the Jump. They are just for you.
Gary the Jump.
So Westergaard has been hunted down rather efficiently by Lime. You can see Westergaard with the yellowy car with the sort of burgundy tail. That is just ahead of him. Managed to stem the flow a little bit that time. And the loss was just 0.4 of a second. But he's walked away from an 8.8 second lead. Now it's 1.4. Brown is in third. He's 13 seconds back on these two. Then Herzig, Watson and Dexter are all scrabbling around looking for that 5th, 6th, 7th position. Tigani down in 11th. Remember, the 2002 world champion. And just got away with that one. Looks like he's feeling a little short. And Lime has dropped back a bit. So after getting so close to Westergaard so quickly, I think mainly because Westergaard did his fastest lap at 34.95, suddenly the rapid forward progress has been eased off as Westergaard's fighting back, and Lime's made another mistake, and he rolled about 112 times for that one. There you go, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's a 6.
That's 6.5.
No, he's on his wheel, so it's 6. So a 6 roll, and a lot of the good work of the last few laps be undone, and his lead, the gap to Westergaard back up to 5 or 6 seconds, 5.8. So Lime is learning the hard way that catching up a gap sometimes it seems quite simple to the point where you get there.
It's one thing to catch a person, it's another thing to pass them.
Well, it's another thing to catch him when you've had to push so far, because suddenly you're obviously pushing to get there, and then you get very close and suddenly it bites you.
We have some people asking in the chat what happened to Little Bump.
It was all very confusing in the LCQ, but he had a big race with Colin Herzig, I think, and Herzig and him had a crash about 5 corners from the end, which let Aaron Dexter through to win, and Neugen came off worse than Herzig and came across the line third, about 3 seconds behind Herzig, and initially Mao called a 5-second penalty for it and then changed his mind. And I don't know why he called the penalty, I don't know why he changed his mind, but the result stood, so Little Bump bumped out, I'm sure frustratingly for him, on the last lap of the last Charles Quantum. But that's what you need. It should be a learning experience, because what the Herzig and he were doing was ridiculous. They were racing when they had first and second pretty much sewed up. They should just follow each other around. Yeah. You don't race in last chance to qualify, you qualify. That's what you're there to do. And
the big winner and all of that was the young Australian.
Yeah, and that's, sitting there and waiting to pick up the pieces, what you need to do. And that looks like, I think the lead's about to change.
Yep.
And Westergaard's made a mistake, and Camden Lime takes the lead. So as long as he
You got a lot
keeps
of
it
good
four-wheel
races.
down, he will be scored in the lead for the second time. The last time being lap 1 and the second time lap 21.
We have a lot of good races going on. Good battle between third and fourth, fifth and sixth, and throw in it looks like Kyle Johnson is in the mix as well. Cody Watson and Aaron
Yeah,
Dexter.
so there's a battle in the middle of the field. We can probably, I'll just let this one disappear a bit and see if we can, risk leaving this one alone. I don't think it's necessarily all over now, though. Westergaard is not making much impact on Lime, but he's not being dropped either.
14 minutes down and 31 minutes to go. Nice long 45-minute race. What do you prefer, Nick? Do you like the longer mains or do you like the shorter mains?
No, I prefer the longer mains.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about an hour. I think 45 minutes is about right. An hour is, it's really, it's a bit of a challenge. It's a mental challenge, all these races. But the longer they are, the more interesting they are. Yeah. Anything half an hour or more is good. So Lime establishing himself in the lead of this RC2 final, comes in for his second stop. Now, will Westergaard come up on the same lap is the question.
Oh, wow. Yeah, those guys are considerably slower than Adam Drake.
It's no real insult, though, is it? If I'm slower than Adam Drake, yes, but it's like slower than Usain Bolt, isn't it? So let's just let this one settle down and we'll go and see where the battles are.
Let's go back to and see looks like Watson, Dexter, and Carl Johnson are having a good battle.
Oh, Line's made another mistake.
And
someone's got through.
that is...
So they both stopped. Both Camden and Westergaard stopped. The lead now is 2.0 second. And you've got Herzig in third, who's no longer that close to anybody. I was kind of waiting a bit to move the cameras because they've all been going through a fuel stop situation. The gaps have all stretched out quite a lot.
Rob Lupo says, we sound like we're talking in a library. We're saving the emotion for the final. I think we should get emotional.
This is the RC2 final. At the moment,
I think Nick's saving his voice for RCGP.
I'm saving my voice. I'm absolutely saving my voice. I don't even know. I've been close to losing my voice all weekend. I've got a cold on the way over.
Yep.
And this is not my normal voice. You can probably tell this is very much more hello husky. Yep. So I'm using a lower register of my voice, and I've only got so much. So given the fact I'm pretty sure I'll get very excited over the main final, I've left Keenan to get excited. He's failed to do it, really. So frankly, he failed. Also, I don't believe, this is a genuine thing. I don't believe in getting excited over something that's not particularly exciting. I think it's fake excitement, and there are a number of commentators and announcers who are just thinking everything's amazing when it's just normal. Mm-hmm. And I always remember I did a European Championship in Italy, and we had an Italian announcer. We had an Italian announcer doing the commentary. And we were sitting there, and the race started, and he started off, and immediately went, oh, it's incredibile, and literally go, it's incredibile, oh, it's incredibile, incredibile. And literally, within 4 laps, he said incredible about 7 times for what was basically just a start.
Yeah.
So when something happened, where did you have to go? If you start at 10, where are you going to go?
Yeah, you got to build up.
You can't. It's light and shade. It's all about light and shade. And also, don't treat your audience as idiots by telling them something's great when it's not, or something exciting when it's not. And if you listen to sports, especially sports which are, and F1 is a bad one. Let's say Sky, they keep telling you how great everything is. And I say, well, I can see if it's great, or I can see if it's not great. I don't need you to tell me it's great.
Exactly.
And they'll also big up. They were bigging up. I don't know the Grand Prix last night in Suzuka. It's not a spoiler too much, but Charles Leclerc ends up out of position and had to go through the field. So he's in a Ferrari, the fastest car, on brand new soft tyres, and therefore he is overtaking the people at the back of the midfield in interesting places because he's got more power, more grip, and everything else, and they're letting him through. And they were telling me this was the most amazing overtaking they'd ever seen. I think no, it's not. It's what happens when you've got more power, more grip, and so don't treat the audience like fools. Something's great, and if you're genuinely excited, you get excited. But they can tell fakeness instantly.
I agree. Can we move back and see the young Australian and
Aaron
Cody
Dexter,
Watson?
car 11, he'll be Dayglow. He is, where is Dexter? In the bright. Yeah, he is car 11. He should be a pure. There he is, the pink car going over the big jump, going onto the wall of death now. That is Aaron Dexter from Down Under.
From Perth, actually.
My commentary mentor is a very famous professional commentator, who's a good friend of mine called John Hindhoff, who, apart from commentating on the early series of the TV show, RC Racing TV, because we were a TV show first, also does IMSA, so he does the American Sports Car Series,
Okay.
and so a lot of American commentaries, and he is the voice of Le Mans, does sports cars. And he's a very good commentator. It's all about light and shade. It's all about light and shade. Never, no one in their life, unless you've got ADHD, is at 99 million volts a second. And you've got to kind of tell the story in the best way possible.
Yep.
And especially in long races, you can spend a large amount of time, as we have just done, not talking about the racing at all.
Yeah. Well, we're on 19 minutes, 45 seconds.
Which I can see you're worried. I can see you'll get edgier and edgier as we don't mention the race. Because the point about it is that we have got people, we're not on radio. People can see the race. Exactly. They can see what's happening. We've got the fantastic timing from Stefan's gang. So people can see what the times are. They can see what the cars are. We've told them who they're watching. They know what's going on. They know we're keeping an overall eye on it. So you don't need to spoon feed people. You can trust your audience. But it is exciting. If it does need a full explanation, as RCGP will do, because it's going to have the nuances and everything else, then that's what needs to happen. Talking about that, actually, can you print something out for me? I'm just going to pick where with I think this is the diatribe. It reminded me of something I'd have forgotten to do.
Yeah.
To get some research materials for the next race. So, Westergaard now is 5.7 seconds behind Lime. He's got an 8-second lead over Herzig. Dexter's 4 seconds back. Brown is 4 seconds behind him. Watson a second back. So they've all eased themselves out, haven't they? They've all gapped away. It looks like Cole Jensen's disappeared as well. Saxton, the old boys have really not made much of an impression, have they?
No, Deganis.
Saxton's in 9th and Deganis in 12th. It's disappointing. A long, long way back to Deganis as well.
He won't like that. He'll go get some practice this week.
We not go, I've made the A final, that's the plus thing, isn't it?
Yeah, he would. Or he'll give up. One of the two.
I don't think he'll give up.
Well, he has one.
World champions don't give up.
He retires every time he wins or loses.
Well, that's not really retiring, is it?
He's retired about 20 times in 2 years. Rob Lupo asks, who was the guy who won last night in the RC2 class?
The junior and the senior.
There was a junior final. Rob.
Won by
Jermaine Robinson.
Yeah, who won the senior one? The over 40 one.
Richard Saxon.
So, commentating on it. It's gone. But this is a good track to commentate on. It's got a lot of gnarly bits in it. People can make mistakes. It's quite visually interesting. So people watching the cars going around don't get bored. Let's see if we can find Colin Herzig, who's running in 3rd. And he's going to be further forward from this guy by about 4 seconds. So just move forward. Just have a quick look at someone coming down the hill. Just randomly guess it's that bloke, even if it's not. And we'll see how well we go. Now, we're looking for car number 12. It would be remarkable if this was car number 12, and very unlikely I could see it if it was, due to my... And yep, that is 12, so we have miracle found the correct car. So I think we should give us a pat on the back and go home.
Or have a frosted beverage.
Yes, that'd be quite nice. Adult beverage time. So that is Herzig. As you can feel the temperature dropping. It's actually dropping for the first time all day in this room.
Rapidly.
So temperature's going down. The shock oil is getting stiffer. The cars are getting less responsive. Unless you set your car up a little bit thin oil to begin with.
Robert Battier is a master of that.
Oh,
Always
yeah.
setting his car up for the long main.
And Robert, of course, was with us at the first 2 rounds of RCGP, the Beach RC, but then he only allowed to do 2 wildcard rounds. So then he had to be, there were various replacements, and at the moment we have the Beach RC team is Ryan Lutz and Evan Vale.
And Canas actually dethroned Battier.
Yes, I think the first time for 11 years, wasn't it?
13, he said.
13 years.
13-time national champion, 13 years in a row.
Wow.
TLR Camp asked what happened to Westergaard. He's in third at the moment. Him and Camden Line had an accident earlier, and Camden Line got by and is pulling away. And Herzig into second.
You got a pen? Thank you. Now I've got to try and remember something. So, Ongare won 2 of the qualifying rounds, didn't he? Yep. So he's got 3 points. Runafat's got an extra point. And Ogden's got... Oh, that's me. Sorry about that. I pressed the wrong button. I'm trying to do 3 things at once, and as you probably realise, I'm struggling to do 1 thing at once.
So our top 5 is Camden Line, Anthony Westergaard, Colin Herzig, Aaron Dexter, and Kyle Turner. Cody Watson just bumping into the 5th position himself.
So, I'm just doing some prep for the next race, so you can carry on commentating for a second.
And nobody has hit the pipe of doom yet. I think that now that it's at an angle, less people are hitting it now.
It's because basically, when it was a 2-lap thing, it was worth the risk.
There we go. Herzig on the sketchy stretch. 25 minutes down. $20 to go. Somebody has broken. I heard Mal just say.
Yeah, let me see if I can see. Oh, yeah, that's car number 2. That's the end of Kyle Turner.
Oh, unfortunate for the young NorCal native. Making the trip down, representing Empire RC, CVR. He's down here with his parents. Very nice people. They're excited to be here at the RCGP, but looks like he's going to be out of the race. But a good run for Kyle Turner nonetheless. So Camden Lime is still, how many seconds ahead?
Some.
Yeah. Anthony Westcott's trying to reel him in, but Camden Line is, like one of my favorite phrases from Nick Damon, like a scalded cockroach.
Scalded cockroach.
What's up, Ryan Gibson? Yes, the track does look fun. Hopefully I'll get to turn some laps on it tomorrow. The sun's going down. Nighttime's starting to set in. I'm guessing the lights are on. So these drivers have come from extreme sun in their eyes to now driving on a dusk-like track.
It is dusk indeed. That's an excellent. We are absolutely at dusk.
Seems like Miles calling for a caution on the straight.
Oh, there we go. Right, that's.
Hey Zach, can we?
No, it is Zach. You're right. Yeah,
is it Zach?
There he is. Yeah.
Zach, can we go back and follow? Let's see here. Who do we want to follow? Let's have a look at Anthony Westcott. See what he's doing. He's in the yellow and red. Number 3.
I think so. Westergaard is 3 in second place.
There's Anthony Westergaard, factory tracks owner, builder of this awesome track. Thank you to Anthony Westergaard, his awesome wife and family for coming here and spending time and building this track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a work of the moment, and it's a fabtastic thing he's done for it. Anyway, so it's now Camden Lime leading by 11.5 seconds from Herzig. Third place is Aaron Dexter now. Sorry, actually Dexter now got past Herzig. Herzig has disappeared. I think he must have a pit stop. He's had a long one, so Aaron Dexter is 3rd. Herzig is 4th. Cody Watson is 5th. Tyler Brown is 6th. Jermaine Robinson is 7th.
Actually, they're asking the spec tire that they're using are the Buckshot S3s with the pin glued to the outside. That was a big deal too. People wanted to know where the pin was going to be glued. The tire doesn't have, it has one side's like a line and the other side is a pin. So the Pro Line decided that the pin would be the best. The pin side to the outside was the best choice for this track.
Everyone's 16 minutes to go on this, the RC2 main final. We're with second place man Anthony Westergaard. Looks like the Dexter and Herzig battle might be getting more interesting. Let's find the big pink car, which is Dexter's machine. He's about to go over the big jump before the wall of death. I'm just wondering whether Herzig's already got it. Herzig just got Dexter on that last lap, so we need to see if Dexter can get him back again. So that's a battle for third overall in RC2. Both coming down the hill together. There they are. You can see Herzig and Dexter as the lights now making themselves more obvious. It's not very much that we are living in a floodlit land. And Herzig makes a mistake. I got it back in. I wanted to get that. That looked quite good, that one. So that's where he goes. He's gone over 1, 2, 3, and carry on going. Just loses one place. You can't argue that, really, can you?
No.
So Dexter in the pink, the Australian, now takes third, with Herzig in fourth. And I'm assuming this may change again before the end of the race. 15 minutes to go. Half an hour down.
Yep. We should have one more pit stop.
Got Lime and Westergaard. So Camden Lime, who started brilliantly and then loused up the second lap and dropped to 9th, drove through the pack and now has opened up a relatively comfortable gap of 8 seconds, which is obviously one. Basically, you want to have at least one mistake in hand, and a mistake is normally about 5 seconds.
"14-year-old Camden Line, he's running away with this at the moment. 15 minutes left to go. Another pit stop. We should have another pit stop for him.
Everyone may need, unless you're literally measuring it right, you'll need to stop twice now. And they're right together now, the third place man. So Dexter, and Herzig then. He got himself level. And
the
Pipe of Doom's got it. The Pole of Doom. He slid down the Pole of Doom like a disgruntled fireman. He's got a big lead out of it. Despite them both in accidents, he's got himself nicely away from. He's going to go for fuel. Dad picks it up, fires the gun, puts it down. That's pretty good as well.
That was a great pit.
So I'm not quite sure who he's been thrown out with. Is that Westergaard? Is that Herzig who's thrown out with? So Herzig must have stopped as well then. Unless Herzig managed to do exactly the same amount of time as a fuel stop. And he was behind, in fairness.
Yes.
So they're right together again, going over the awkward quad. Coming up the hill. Drop down the steps. And a mistake there from Aaron Dexter.
What's the famous Australian chant that they do? Oi, oi, oi?
I don't know, it's quite a lot of famous chant.
Aussie?
Aussie, oi, oi, oi. Yeah, actually, though, it's a kind of a bastardisation of a Welsh chant anyway, which is oggy, 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 oi, 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 which is the Welsh chant. So, actually, like most things in Australia, someone in Britain thought of it first and then took it over there. These young countries, you see, it's very hard to find your own culture.
Looks like we have Matt Walter chiming in. Techno team manager says track looks good, looks great. Coverage has been top notch. And sorry I couldn't make it up there today.
So Dexter all over the back of. Actually, who is he behind? Because that's not Herzig. That's Jermaine Robinson, who's a lap back. So he's a lap ahead there. So it's Robinson who's a lap back, has Dexter ahead of him.
I think Jermaine is the youngest competitor in this race, 13 years old.
Yep. There's a couple of good, several good youngsters, which is a very positive thing for RC, and certainly RC in America here.
We have one of the Aussies chiming in saying, Aaron loves Hannah Montana songs.
I wonder if that's actually true or just some little kind of thing, a little in-joke about, you know. I mean, obviously Miley Cyrus is a different proposition to Hannah Montana in so many ways. Camden Lime leads. He's just got another lap. He lost a little bit of time over a couple of laps, but he's now leading with 11 to go. Let's go and find our leader again. He's just had a crash. No, yes, he's just gone past him and had a crash. He's up underneath you right now, Zach, in blue and pink. There he goes. There's Lime over the hole shot corner. I keep calling it hot shot because that used to be a Tamiya RC buggy that I had and liked very much.
Looks like Camden Lime is in a battle with Cody Watson, or lapped Cody Watson, looks like.
Yeah.
So he's lapped all the way up to 5th place.
As you say, that sketchy straight still trying to catch him out, but Camden looking pretty good. Westergaard still in 2nd. And Dexter still in 3rd. Now, of course, don't forget, these top 3 drivers will get their own press conference as well. So
yes.
there's the RC2 press conference. I've really got to concentrate on what's going on here, shouldn't I, really?
Yes.
So I'm going to ask them.
And I'm going to throw in a shameless plug here. I did a little walkabout today, first thing Sunday morning.
Didn't talk to me. Just didn't bother coming in.
No, I'm going to get you your T-shirt.
Oh.
Your No Name RC Podcast T-shirt and your RCGP T-shirt.
Well, I sincerely hope so.
So if you guys want to check it out, go to the No Name RC Podcast. And, you know, I did a few interviews with some RC2 and RCGP drivers.
You're going to do a podcast about your experience of sitting next to me talking rubbish.
It's definitely a learning experience.
Don't learn from me. That's a recipe for disaster. I've untrained several professionals. So Lime, with about 9 minutes to go, leads quite convincingly in what has been, after a poor start and a quick run through, quite a convincing last 25 minutes, a half hour. Westergaard now is dropping back off, which makes me think he's on a slightly different fuel strategy. He's now 10 seconds behind. And he's had a crash as well. It's possible, actually, if he carries on doing this, he might put himself in danger of actually losing 2nd place. Underneath you now, Zach, is Westergaard. He's got yellow wheels. I hope that'll help. He's at the bottom of the hill now. So that's Westergaard, who's dropped back. I just saw him. He had an accident at the top of the Thunder Rally hairpin a second ago.
I'm really impressed with Aaron Dexter. First time in America racing him, his dad, and his brother. He's been fast all weekend. Now he's sitting in 3rd place against some of the fastest locals here in California and some of the fastest young drivers in the USA. I think this is super impressive for him.
Yeah, and they're not frightened of Yeah, and they're not frightened of travelling because they came over the DXR in Telford, and that's a much longer run. One of the nice things about Australia is it's as far from California as we are. Yep. Well, if you get the right end of Australia, obviously.
They're from Perth.
That's the wrong end. Yeah. That's the far away end.
I mean, just for them to travel around Australia, it takes, 5-6 hours to fly across?
Yeah, it's a very big place, Australia. That's the problem. They really should never have cancelled Concorde. They should have worked out a new supersonic plane.
Tim Dollar wants to know what's the gap between Lime and 2nd. It looks like it's about 16 seconds.
It's kind of written down.
Yeah.
If you look on the top left, it's actually written down, the gap. So it's 16 seconds between Lime and Westergaard, 14 seconds between Westergaard and Dexter, 5 seconds between Dexter and Herzig, 11 seconds between anyway, yes, that's you get the drift. That's all the gaps between the next person. And everyone's having a good chance, apart from Carl Turner, who's 17 laps down.
He looks like he's the only one out of the race, so that's pretty good. We are 37 minutes in, and only one car is out.
So the actual car running dead last is Degani of the runners. Oh, Lime just made a mistake. He gets a camera turn. You saw his unique colours just scuttering into the ground there. So Saxon's only got as far as 8th, so that's not gone very well. So how old's Camden? Camden's 14.
14 years old.
And Anthony Westergaard, how old is he? Obviously quite old.
He's in his 20s, I guess.
And Aaron Dexter is about 17, 16, 17, yeah. Colin Herzig?
Early 20s.
Cody Watson?
15.
15. Tyler Brown?
Unsure.
Jermaine Robinson?
13.
Yeah, so it's a pretty young. I won't mention Richard Saxon is next. It's quite a young RC2 final, getting a chance to race on the same track as. Well, I say you say the major stars, and you say, well, this is. We don't forget we have the reigning world champion.
Yes.
We have the previous world champion.
And
in,
2 European champions.
And obviously European champions as well. And we have Ryan Cavalieri, he's a 4-time world champion in electric. Ryan looks has won everything going. So it's a very, you can vision yourself, you're on the same track at the same time, so you can look at your lap times and go, well, how am I comparing to these people? What am I doing?
And then we have JQ.
Yeah, one thing you have to say about this track, and one thing I would say when you watch the race, in fact, what we'll probably do before we have this conversation is move to somebody else. With 5.5 minutes to go, let us go. Just choose a car, Zach, and we'll see what it is for a couple of minutes. We'll just choose that person. Who have we gone for? We're going for that car. Where? Come on, zoom in. It's gone for Aaron Dexter. There's a pink car. Okay. One thing I will say, and it's been pretty much a rousing success here, is the control tyre.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Proline control tyre has worked brilliantly, and I've heard no complaints about it. And once it's a leveler, it's obviously got plenty of grip. It's designed to last this main final, which it has done with 5 minutes to go. It was designed to do all these sort of things, and it's turned out to be absolutely the ideal choice. I mean, obviously, we're only 8 minutes in the Proline factory, so they should know what they want. But it's a realistically, most large 1/10 electric championships have gone control tyre. Is this the way 1/8 should go? Yes, in some ways, and no in other ways. No, because it obviously tyres are a very big profit generator for the RC industry, and do we need to strip profits from the RC industry at all? Possibly not. Yes, because it saves money. So, that's the kind of the.
I like the idea of spec tires, but I get what you're saying.
I mean, I think this combination where you have some spec tyres and some open tyres is probably the best solution.
I think spec tire eliminates every racer's greatest excuse.
Well, yeah, I mean, it does. We've seen many a championship decided because someone had a tyre no one else had, especially in 12. So Dexter is about to get lapped by our leader. So when the leader go by him, to stay with Camden Lime, who's now a lap up.
Impressive by Camden Lime, coming off some good form from the Nationals this year. He's a man on a mission. He wants to represent. He wants to be the wild card spot for RCGP next year. And right now, he's on the way to doing that.
Is that the prize here then?
He will join Pele Comse, Hampusberg, Leo Valente, and...
No, Leo Valente didn't get it. No, Berg got the European, which is over. The European one was over two legs. Valente won the first leg and then became a wild card instantly.
Yes. Just
because he has a space in the S-Works Europe team.
But he will join those three and get a spot in the wild card next year.
Ooh.
And he's excited about it. When I told him that, his eyes lit up. And he's like, really? I said, yep.
So...
I'm sure his dad will be super well chuffed if this happens.
He'll be well chuffed, but of course it'll be open tyres. It's going to cost him some money.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's all taken care of for Camden. These drivers who are showing this sort of promise at this sort of age. Camden 3.5 minutes to roll.
And he's also rocking and repping Beach RC. Dad's been rocking the Beach RC shirt all weekend. Brent Densford finally made it here. He had a big race at his track in Myrtle Beach. Finally arrived, enjoying himself.
Yep. So Lime now with about 3 minutes and 2 seconds to go. Has put in if we excuse lap 2, which was an absolute nightmare, a pretty dominant performance. Whoa, and he's gone all over. But back on the wheel again, though, so he didn't lose much time. He has the fastest lap with a 34.1. So hasn't really pulled away from Aaron Dexter, who is running in third. So he's lapped third. He's 18 seconds in the lead of Westergaard. That'll be slightly lower now because he did have that accident at the start of this round. So he's going to have an overall lead of, 16, 15 seconds when Westergaard follows him round. But it's going to be nothing short of a major disaster that's going to stop Camden Lime winning this one.
Two minutes to go. Let's do it, Camden.
Well, it's 2 minutes now. Someone's a bit preempting there, wasn't it? 2 minutes ago, it was 2 minutes, 3 seconds, honestly.
Okay, 3 seconds.
That wasn't you, it was him. It was the announcer who was bigging up the 2 minutes, but there's more than 2 minutes. We need accuracy. Westergaard is 16 back. Dexter is 20 seconds back because he's obviously a lap behind Lime, because Lime's doing 34-second laps, and 16 and 20 is 36. That's 3 seconds behind Dale. Ooh, he's now, he's not a lap ahead anymore. So
Unlapped himself.
Well, he was allowed to be unlapped, so Lime just needs to get his head down, concentrate a bit longer.
He probably needs to turn it down a notch now. 23 seconds in front.
77 runs to go. Just so you know, I've been told that the main RCGP race will be 100 laps.
Really?
Yep, which is about an hour, give or take.
Laps.
Yeah.
Young Camden Lime.
So, a very, very impressive performance by Lime. He's having a little bit of a sticky last couple of laps, but it's not particularly important. He's done all the hard work. He's got this lap and one more. I think Westergaard will also cross the line. Westergaard obviously had a bad lap off camera as well. So they cross it. 21 seconds to go. It's going to be touch and go whether this is going to be anything more than a victory lap for Camden Lime. Camden started on the pole position, led round the first lap. They made a succession of mistakes, so he actually came round at the end of lap 2 in 9th place.
And he isn't slowing down.
Quickly pulled his way through the field and then got to within 8 or 9 seconds of Westergaard. Slowly reeled him in and then drifted back again. And then Westergaard made a mistake at the bottom of the hole shot corner, and through went Lime. And after a couple of laps of trying hard to hold on to his coattails, Westergaard couldn't do it. And Camden Lime's going to come over, and Camden Lime wins RC2 for RCGP round 8. Congratulations to the young man, and congratulations to his team. Anthony Westergaard will be second, Aaron Dexter from Australia third, Colin Herzig will be fourth. In fifth, it's Cody Watson. Sixth, Tyler Brown. Seventh, Jermaine Robinson. Eighth, Richard Saxton. 9, Cole Jensen. 10, Greg Degani. 11, Carl Johnson. And 12 is Kyle Turner. So we are now, next things next is the build-up for RCGP. So I'll just have a quick chat with the RCGP team. Okay, so we should be seeing the RCGP cars coming down. I can see them, so it's time to go to RCGP, the final of 2019, Season 1 of RCGP. Let's go holding graphic. It's quite exciting to do a holding graphic, isn't it?